Hi everyone, I am Joshua William Gelb, and welcome to the Theater in Quarantine. It's Thursday, August 13th, and it's 7 o'clock here in New York City. I don't know what time it is where you are, but thank you for tuning in and joining me here in my East Village apartment, where almost 5 months ago, when we first received the stay-at-home orders, I converted the closet behind me into a white box digital performance laboratory. How can performance makers artfully push against the boundaries of social distance? How can we embrace the limitations of remoteness? That's what we're here to find out. And by we, I mean myself and an ever-expanding roster of collaborators I've been lucky enough to work with inside of this especially limited confinement, measuring exactly 4 feet wide by 8 feet tall by 2 feet deep. Every other week, you can tune in here on my YouTube channel to see what we've come up with this time. On Thursday, August 27th, just 2 weeks from now, we'll be premiering a new retelling of Borges's short story, The Secret Miracle, written for chamber orchestra and spoken word, with music by Alex Weston, written by myself, and directed by John Levin. And on September 12th, we'll be celebrating the opening of the Invisible Dog Art Center's new season with the closing out of this, our very first season, with ClosetWorks Volume 4. Now, in honor of the occasion, we'll be performing on a Saturday, so don't miss it. And don't worry, since the theaters aren't opening anytime soon, we'll be back come October with a brand new season. But enough about the fall, because tonight we are here with ClosetWorks Volume 3, presented by The Invisible Dog, with additional support by Mamie Kanfer and Justin Stewart. Thank you. We have 3 pieces for you tonight, starting with one from the old YouTube playlist, And He Left, which we're performing for the first time tonight live. Now, that one's got music by Alex Weston and choreography by Katie Rose McLaughlin. And it also features a ladder that I fished out of the trash somewhere on East 9th Street. We'll follow that with a brand new piece created by our guest choreographer tonight, Damani Van Rensalier, called Acknowledge, Assess, Activate, which has drums by Brandon Scales. Now lastly, you'll see the premiere of a new piece by our own artistic associate and resident movement director, who puts together ClosetWorks every month, Katie Rose McLaughlin. It's called 52 Hertz, A Study in Failure. The performance runs about 20 minutes, and afterwards I'll be hanging around with Katie Rose and Damani to answer any questions you might want to drop in the comments section. We've got a 9 o'clock performance, so if you enjoy yourself, please share the link with your friends. You can find it on my YouTube channel. And while you're there, consider subscribing so you don't miss any of the very exciting projects we've got coming up for you in the next couple weeks, as well as on through December. And if you really enjoy yourself, in the description below, you'll find a link to our Fractured Atlas page where you can make a donation, where all of your donations will be divided up between the artists tonight. So let's get started. I'm going to take a brief 1-minute break so I can get into places. Thanks again for coming, and enjoy ClosetWorks Volume 3.
Because, you know, there are these peculiar faculties of the psyche, that it isn't entirely confined to space and time. You can have dreams or visions of the future. You can see round corners and such things. Only ignorance deny these facts. It's quite evident that they do exist and have existed always. Now these facts show that the psyche is not dependent upon these confinements. And then what? When the psyche is not under that obligation to live in time and space alone, and obviously it doesn't, then to that extent the psyche is not submitted to those laws. And that means a practical continuation of life, of a sort of psychical existence beyond time and space.
For 24 years, researchers have been tracking the migration of a whale which has a unique sonic signature, so unique that it appears to have never found a mate. The 52 Hz whale is a unique whale that calls at a characteristic frequency of 52 Hz, a much higher frequency than the vocalizations of most whales. It appears to be the only individual with this call, and it has been described as the world's loneliest whale. At 52 Hz, it is just higher than the lowest note on a tuba. The call patterns resemble neither blue nor fin whales. They are shorter and more frequent, besides being at a much higher frequency. Blue whales usually vocalize at 15 to 20 Hz, fin whales at 20. The 52 Hz signals are highly variable in their pattern of repetition, duration, and sequence, although they are easily identifiable due to their frequency and characteristic clustering. The track of the 52 Hz whale is unrelated to the presence or movement of other whale species. Its movements have been somewhat similar to that of blue whales, but its timing has been more of that of fin whales. It is detected in the Pacific Ocean every year, beginning in August through December, and moves out of range of the hydrophones in January and February. It travels as far north as the Kodak Islands and as far south as the California coast, swimming between 30 and 70 kilometers each day. Its recorded distance traveled per season has ranged from a low of 700 kilometers to a high of 11,000 kilometers in 2002 to 2003. Whatever biological cause underlies its unusually high voice does not seem to be detrimental to its survival. The fact that the whale has survived and apparently matured indicates that it is probably healthy. Still, it is the only one of its kind detected anywhere, and there is only one such source per season. Because of this, the animal has been called the loneliest whale in the world. William Watkins of the Woods Hole Oceanic Institute, who invented the first underwater recording system, first heard 52 Hz's unique high-pitched song back in 1989 when he was studying the mating calls of male whales, which are far more vocal than females. On average, these tones had a center frequency of 51.75 Hz and lasted 5 to 7 seconds. These tones are usually produced in groups of 2 to 6 and were recorded in the Northeast Pacific. The U.S. Navy's sophisticated billion-dollar hydrophone system, designed to track Soviet nuclear submarines during the Cold War, recorded his migratory patterns in great detail each year, cruising from Central California to the Kodak Islands in the North Pacific. He always travels solo, unrelated to the presence or movement of other whale species, according to the original report in Deep Sea Journal. However, the Defense Department only releases data days after 52 Hz has moved on, too late for scientists to dispatch vessels to meet him in person. Unsurprisingly, the cash-strapped U.S. Navy has little interest in pursuing a solitary, love-sick whale.